Türkiye Büyük Millet Meclisimizin saygıdeğer başkanı,
Distinguished Speaker of the House at
saygıdeğer
Turkish Grand National
üyeleri,
Assembly, distinguished members
hanımefendiler
of
ve
the
efendiler,
Parliament, ladies and gentlemen,
sizleri öncelikle
I would like to
en kalbi
first of
duygularımla
all
selamlıyorum.
greet you all cordially.
Bu buluşmamızın,
This gathering,
bu bir araya
this
gelişimizin
evening, this coming together
tamamıyla
is completely
demokratik bir hukuk devletini yıkmaya yönelik
standing up against the coup attempt that was to break down the
ne yazık ki
system and the regime in Turkey. I would not want this to be the occasion. Unfortunately, this is in the aftermath of the unfortunate events that we had last
şöyle
weekend.
bir ikili değerlendirmeyi yaptıktan
Shortly,
sonra
we had a chance to go over the event with the distinguished Speaker of the House, and then I had a chance to go around in the Parliament and see the repercussions, and I am deeply saddened by the scene that I saw.
bu teşebbüste
This
bulunanların
attempt, the perpetrators of
bu
this
milletin
event,
evladı olması mümkün değil.
may not be real sons and daughters of this nation. They may not be the children of this nation. They should be seen as people,
Teröristlerdir.
they should be seen as terrorists that have dressed themselves in military uniforms.
Ülkemizde
In Turkey,
bölücü terör örgütünü biliyorduk.
we always knew about the terrorist organization that we have in Turkey. We know about PYD and we know about Daesh. We have known about these terrorist organizations for such a long time. However, it was defined in a different way. It was defined, this terrorist group was defined as a group of people involved in education and that they have no affiliation with guns or weapons. But we know that their association with guns and weapons is in such a unique way, with the taxes paid by the taxpayers of this country, with the money that this country allocates for security, has been used against the people of this country via the tanks and the weapons and the guns. And they are such plotters, and they are so guilty that they used it against the nation of this country. Their representative, their leader, the so-called leader of this organization is residing in Pennsylvania, USA, and he is challenging in his own way. And on the other hand, he comes together with people that have fled from Turkey, and there are some people that have found refuge and that have found shelter in different parts of Europe. They are following up Turkey from a distance. Thank God they have not been successful. Thank God they have not been able to draw the conclusion that they aimed, because they thought that they knew about religion and faith. However, they were unaware of one thing, which is that real faith is associated directly with God. The greatest is God Almighty, who is the one to question and who is the one to make inquiry. They ignored this, and now is the time to go through the inquiry. They asked for certain coordinates for their own purpose. However, they could not do it. They missed it. Okay, you came here, you bombarded the parliament, you came here, you flight the planes here in order to send bombs to the nation of this country. This is the reason why this brother of yours via the mobile phone that he held in his hand, contacted a TV station and invited the whole people, invited the whole nation to the squares. People from 81 different cities of this country have been invited by myself to the squares and to the city centers, and this was something they had not thought about. And it was because of the attack that we had. Every single evening, we have people gathering. And I'm making out a call to my people. Until a second order comes, make sure you fill in these squares and make sure you meet at these squares. We are going to make the final decision with our nation, but we need to be patient. Because I keep on mentioning this on various TV programs, that this is such a virus that it now is causing metastasis, and we have to make sure that we really work hard in order to get rid of this virus. Sometimes you think you have overcome it, however, it pops up. However, it pops up from another spot. So we really have to make sure that they are all got rid of. These people disguise themselves in a very successful way. However, they are actually more than a chameleon, that they are disguising themselves. And our parliament and Turkish Grand National Assembly, I said I went through various parts of it, and it is such a sign, it is such a good example that we should present to the whole world. If the Western world believes that they are in favor of democracy, then they should make sure that they condemn this attack and full stop. They do not go around the bush. Currently, through our Ministry of Foreign Affairs, we are going to be sending the videos and the visuals of these attacks to different parts of the world. We will also be sharing visuals, pictures and video recordings to different parts of the world. I suppose after having seen these, they will all come to agree that they have to give full support to the government of a country that is elected by the people of this nation. No one else will dare to call the leader of this nation a dictator in the future. Dear brothers and sisters, I personally believe that I have very good knowledge of my nation. I know my nation in a complete manner. And I strongly believe that my nation has presented a great example to the whole world. And thank God my nation is so brave to stand against the tanks, with the children, with the women and men of this country. We have stood against the tanks, and some have become martyrs even. The lady who was killed in Esenler, I came together with the husband and with the son of this lady who lost her life. Your path is our path, is the thing they told me. We lost our mom in this endeavor, we lost our mother in this endeavor, but we will continue with our struggle. This is the way to go, and we have to make sure that we never lose this attitude. There is so much going around, so many viruses. Some say the second stage is up and coming, the third stage is up and coming. And I'm saying that make sure you come all along and you will find us.
Perşembeyi Cuma'ya bağlayan gece
The evening of Thursday,
gerekli olan dersi benim milletim sizlere verdi.
the evening of Friday was the day, was the evening that my nation, my people made you learn your lesson. And the people gathering in the squares of this country, in the city centers of this country, is increasing day by day. The ones who made miscalculations should be thinking twice in the future. And on this occasion, I would also like to refer to our armed forces, Turkish armed forces. These perpetrators, the betrayers and traitors, there are so many members of the army who were not deceived by these traitors. I would like to extend my thanks and gratitude to them. Similarly, I also would like to thank and express my gratitude to the staff members of Turkish Police Department, not being trapped by these claims and these people. The same rule applies to the intelligence organization and all the ministries that we have. We have personnel members and staff members of our ministries that were not deceived by these traitors. And I strongly believe that the most part of it is completed. There's only a little left. Now the doors are opened widely, and the justice system in this country is working tremendously hard. And within the democratic rule of law, within the democratic system, and in accordance with rule of law, justice system will make sure that the proceedings are underway and decisions will be made. It's a great pleasure to see that. Some ask whether it's the right thing to do to take so many people under detention and into custody. Well, now is the time that the justice system is functioning properly, and a delayed justice won't be justice properly. So this is a very good example. Similarly, my dear brothers and sisters, all security forces in this country are alarmed at all times. They have taken all their measures. They have taken all the precautions in order to make sure that our country is safe, our people are safe, and that we have a smooth transition to normalization. I would especially like to refer to our parliament, you, my distinguished members of the parliament, and via the distinguished members of the media, I would like to make a call out to my people. Yesterday, the law on the extraordinary measures has been enacted within the parliament, and now we have the state of emergency. The law on state of emergency has been enacted. I attach great importance to this. And of course, we have some decrees in the force of law, and we have a 3-month period ahead of us, which is extremely important. However, some are trying to pull this to different angles. Currently, our government, when we come together with the officers, we draw their attention to one thing. This law on state of emergency has been enacted. Yes, it is enacted, but be aware, have people started running forcefully to their homes? Have they started going out, making shopping and buying food? Or are they still continuing to go out to the streets and city centers and squares of cities? This is important because in the past, as we had states of emergency, citizens would first run to the stores, would run to the grocery in order to stock food and drinks, but now it's just the contrary. This time it is just the contrary because this law on state of emergency is unusually contrary to the ones that we have. It is, in a way, a warranty to accelerate the democratization. And speedily all the necessary laws are to be enacted, and hopefully our parliament will be executing this process in the best manner possible, and as fast as possible this Gülenist terrorist organization and other terrorist organizations will be erased and will vanish from earth. Hopefully, the operations will be underway in order to put an end to the activities of these terrorist organizations. There is another claim being made and speculation being made, saying that the economy will go down. Dear friends, it will not go down. Currently, we have a government functioning properly. Turkish armed forces, they are taking care of their own tasks, and so does the police force. So what is abnormal? What is extraordinary? Our government is going to function as it always did. On top of that, our governors will have more authority and will have more tasks to take care of. They will be empowered, and our governors will become stronger decision makers, so that on a provincial level, economic activities will accelerate further on, and the process is going to be accelerated for our entrepreneurs and for our business people. There is going to be no concession from financial discipline. Central Bank of Turkey made an explanation saying that in the markets there is going to be no bottleneck for Turkish lira or other currencies. We are making a call out to our investors. I'm going to repeat it once again. All our investors should continue with their investments with the same decisiveness and commitment, and they should not suspend any investments they are thinking of. And we as the state, we will continue investing in the infrastructure and superstructure of this country. We are heading towards August, and hopefully in August we will be having the inaugural ceremony for Yavuz Sultan Selim Bridge. This is going to be such a meaningful inauguration, to be followed by hopefully the second sub-tunnel on Bosphorus. It's going to be dedicated to vehicles, as you know. This is the sub-tunnel for vehicles on Bosphorus. And hopefully we will be taking further steps for Channel Istanbul. The tender is underway. On the other hand, we are making preparations for the Dardanelles Bridge. Hopefully these giant investments will be undertaken. Some say that during such times, financing is a problem. With the support of God, hopefully, we will not encounter such difficulty. We are prepared for that. I would also like to draw your attention to one interesting thing. Dear brothers and sisters, in this process, Turkey has just encountered the inauguration of Osman Gazi Bridge. The yield, the profitability of Osman Gazi Bridge is so apparent. I'm making a call out to the finance sector. Make sure that you lower your interest rates. Make sure you lower them, the interest rates, so that this nation, this country, if you are committed to provide services to this nation, to this country, make sure you earn less, so that investors benefit from the low-cost loans and credits that you're offering, so that they take further steps. And this will certainly contribute to employment and labor. There's one other thing I'd like to draw your attention to. Since we have state of emergency, some products
girenlere sesleniyorum.
Some products are
Eğer
planned to
böyle
be
bir
sold
yanlış
for a higher
teşebbüsün
price. I'm making a
içinde
warning
olanlar
here. If there
olursa
is anyone
bilsinler
attempting to
ki
do that,
bunların tepesine
please rest assured
devletimiz biner,
that our state,
hükümetimiz
our
biner.
government shall not permit that.
Normal şartlar
Under
neyse
normal
bu
conditions, we have certain proceedings,
gıda
and the
maddesi
same
şunu
proceedings
yapalım.
apply
Yok bilmem
for
akaryakıtta
these
şöyle bir
times.
yola gidelim.
You may not
Pompaları
think
erken
of
kapatalım.
doing
Şunu yapalım,
anything
bunu
for
yapalım.
oil and
Türkiye'de bir
petrol.
anormallik yok ki.
There's nothing abnormal in Turkey.
Bizim
Everything
akaryakıtta
is just
sıkıntımız mı var?
running
Nereden
smoothly. We
çıkarıyorsunuz bu
do
işi?
not have any
İşte bunların
fuel
hepsi virüs.
um,
Bunların
insufficiency
hepsi
or
dezenformasyon. İşte
we do
çıkmış.
not have any insufficient amount of fuel.
Biliyorsunuz
These are all
S&P
disinformation.
ne
As you
yapıyor?
know, Standard and
Yok
Poor's
Türkiye'nin
recently
yatırım
made an explanation
yani
saying
düşürmeye
that
çalışıyoruz bilmem ne. Ya biz
they are
senin zaten
considering to
önemli
lower the
Sana ne? Sen
scores
kimsin
for
ya?
investment in Turkey.
Bir defa sen
Who
haddini
are
bil.
you? Who do you think you are?
Haddini bil.
Who do you think you are?
Sen Türkiye ile ilgili
You
böyle bir açıklama yapma yetkisine
do
sahip
not
değilsin.
have the authority to make such
Ama bunların
an
tabii derdi var.
explanation or announcement about
Bunların
Turkey.
bu
But then
yaptıkları
again, they have their
açıklamalar
own agenda.
tamamıyla
They have their own
siyasidir.
thing on their minds.
Bu
This is
Türkiye
totally politically
düşmanlığından
oriented. It's
kaynaklanmaktadır.
because they're enemies of Turkey.
Ama biz
However,
bunları bir
we
kenara koyuyoruz.
are putting
Halk
all of
arasında
these
bizim bunlara ilgili
aside.
güzel tabirler var.
Well,
Bu
we have
tabirleri
great
burada
sayings
kullanmak çok altında
within
yatıyor.
our
Onun için
community, but
söylemiyorum.
it wouldn't be
Ama
appropriate
kimse de
to
bunların
echo
yaptıkları
them under this
açıklamaları kale
roof, so
almasın.
I'm not going to
Yatırımlarına
make that.
aynen
But no one
devam
should
etsin.
consider these
Yurt içi
warnings,
yurt dışı.
and everyone should
Bunlara
continue
devam
with domestic and
Değerli
international
kardeşlerim,
investments. Dear brothers and
milletim
sisters, my
hiçbir endişeye
nation
kapılmasın.
should have no concerns.
Milletvekili
My
arkadaşlarım
nation should have no
illerinde
worries.
yaptıkları çalışmada
My members of the parliament
bu
will
gayretleri
continue
ortaya koysunlar
with their efforts
ve
in their own provinces
şu
and
3 aylık
cities so that we
olağanüstü
go through these 3
hal
months
dönemini
state of
inşallah
emergency.
başarılı bir
Hopefully, we
şekilde
will complete this process in a
geçireceğimize
successful manner.
inanıyorum
I strongly believe
ve
in
bunun da
this,
bereketini
and
sonunda
hopefully,
inşallah
we will
göreceğiz.
we will
Bütün
be seeing
tedbirler
that
ilgili mercilerimiz
that we are
tarafından
bearing the
alınmıştır.
fruits. All the
Alınmaya da
measures are taken
devam
by
edecektir.
the authorities, and they
Ha
will
gayret diyorum,
continue to take further
çalışmalara devam diyorum.
measures. So
Hepinizi Allah'a
all the
emanet
best,
ediyorum.
and
Sağ
may
olun.
God protect you all. Thank you very much.